Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire and the Gurkha Cigar Studios in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Kevin Acuff.
All right, I got you, Kevin. I hear you.
You can hear me now?
I
Finally?
can hear you. I can hear you.
So it seems like it's a product of Safari.
Gotta fix ya.
Like every time I log on the Safari page, it changes my microphone to the camera.
Ah, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, every time I did it, like I went in and I changed it to the microphone and it worked. And then I refreshed the page and it defaulted back to the camera.
You know, this is why, when people ask us about, like, doing these shows and like, what cigar media is all about, one's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Try doing it every week, multiple times a week, over and over and over again for years and years and years, not run into these issues and have to deal with them on the fly under the pressure of time constraints. It's trust me, it looks easier than it is sometimes.
It does. So I mean, my guess is that I need to update. I'm guessing that there's probably some kind of a Safari update that I didn't see. Maybe.
Yeah,
Possibly.
it's
Or not
possible.
Safari, but Google Chrome. I'm actually using Safari now.
Which is weird because a
Unless-
lot of times I recommend to guests and stuff like, use Google Chrome because it historically has always worked better, but not today apparently. So that's
Well,
weird.
I am using a MacBook that so it's maybe trying to dumb itself down enough to use Chrome. I don't know.
Could be. It could be. But anyway, we still made it.
How about that? How you doing, Matt? And I want to apologize to the audience for making us 25 minutes late with this nonsense.
Yeah, this is Kevin's fault. Sorry, I don't mean to kick away down. That's how it goes, Next week it could be me, and then it could be all over me. So,
How about that?
how about that? How about that cigar? Hey, shout out. Love you guys. Well, we're here. It's just me and Kevin this week. We're gonna gib gab about a couple of things that are hot top. Well, maybe not hot topics, but current topics. Stuff that probably a couple of things that probably everyone's heard about. A few things that maybe you haven't heard about. A couple of things that are specific to regions in which some of the people on the show live to.
Yeah, I think that's probably like the biggest shout out of the night is thoughts and prayers to all of our friends that are in the path of that monster.
Yeah. I mean, that's scary. They got hit last week with what was it? Irene? Was that the one that they just went through? What was the name of the last one? These fucking names with the hurricanes. I don't know. Like, who's sitting there being like, got a storm coming in. Got to pick a name. Who's got a name? And there's just a bunch of dickheads in a room being like, how about Thomas? No, that's too basic. What do you got? Nathaniel? Nah, still too basic. What do you got? I like to shop at Milton's. How about Milton? And everyone's like, isn't that the name of the guy from Office Space? Oh yeah, the guy with the stapler. We're going with Milton. It's like these fucking names sometimes.
The one prior that they're just cleaning up from is what, Helene, right?
Helene. That's something like that. Helene. Who names their kid Helene? Or Milton. Like, I don't know. If my kid was named Milton, I'd be like, and he came home and was like, yeah, like they pick on me all the time, but like, yeah, I fucked up. That was on me, pal. I kid. If your name is Milton, I'm sorry, but your parents did you dirty. Yeah, I mean, but in all seriousness, I've seen some videos people have posted. People we know, preparing their houses, their stores. I saw Angela Yu posted. In Tampa, the Grand Cathedral. She's got all the glass windows boarded up and whatnot. And I've talked to a few people. That shit sucks. It's like there's nothing you can do. You got nowhere to go. You board up your house and you take all the preparations you can and you hope for the best. It's such a shitty kind of way to live. Just like a hope and a prayer. I mean, It really does. Like that sucks. So I hope everyone gets through it. I hope everyone, personally as a person, I hope people evacuate and they get themselves safe. And then after that, I mean, I hope they don't have too much loss, if any, after this. But it sounds like this storm's gonna be pretty bad, especially that Tampa area, St. Petersburg.
Well, from what I understand, like the storm surge that they're having is supposed to be what's like the gnarly thing that they have to deal with. So that's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. It's scary, and I believe it's beginning to hit them now. I think I was heard tonight, so I think it's making these things, they kind of like rolls in, and so I think it's starting to hit them now. So
Yep.
God willing, man, I hope those people are okay and they get through it, and I hope it's not like another Katrina or any of those other really bad ones. But I did read that it was supposed to be like the worst hurricane to hit Tampa in like 100 years. So
they're calling it like maybe like the most powerful storm ever. So we'll see. That's what I've read. But I mean, you can't believe anything you see on the internet either. So
yeah, and I mean, and they're good at gauging this thing, right? But I guess even the best, like, you never really know until it hits. You know what I mean? Because it's an animal of its own. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can predict it, but who's to say? Like, all of a sudden, once it hits the land, that's like it just takes off, or maybe it drops off. I don't know. So we'll see.
Yep. Hey,
Very scary shit.
I hate to do this. I got to step away for a second. I got a work thing coming in that looks like a 911. I will be right back.
Uh-oh, this has never happened on the show before. Kevin is walking away with a 911. Well, leaving me stranded up here all alone. That's okay. I've been doing podcasting for 6 years now, and I've definitely been in this position before, so I can handle it. So basically, you're going to have a one-man show until Kevin's done with his little personal phone call. Or a work phone call, Yeah, that's what they always say. When you're at home and you have something going on, you got to blame work. When you're at work and you have something at home going on, you blame it on, you blame it on the kids, right? That's what you do. Although then again, 9 times out of 10, it is because of the fucking kids. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that call about the baby being sick, or something's going on. I don't know. I get the daycare calls you. They're like, oh my God, she fell. And they always make it sound like she fell, bumped her head on a table. Like she cracked her head open and like she's dead. And I'm like, you got to come. And I show up and she's like, Daddy. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? Oh, she's good now. She's fine. She doesn't even have a bruise. And it's like, you made it sound like this kid like fucking died. And I raced here, through every red light. I left work early. I came here because you couldn't get a hold of my wife, and I'm here. And this child is like, Daddy, let's go play. And it's like, what? She's fine. So I know how it goes. Anyway, I'm done with my long tangent. Kevin seems to be back. Also, I was going to check really quickly. And that sucks. Phillies are out of the playoffs already, and I don't say that with gusto. I say with disappointment. The Phillies have been, my team for the playoffs. Many friends in the business are Philly fans. Alex DeBella, Joe Groh, the great William Cooper, and many more. I didn't forget about you, but those are the guys I routinely talk about it with. Already out, man. It sucks, dude. I want Bryce Harper to win a championship, and came so close. And then this year they had a great team. They get to the playoffs. They shit the bed against the fucking Mets. The Mets. And then you get the Yankees on the other side. I really hope the Royals bounce their ass out because, God, the Mets.
I don't really follow Major League Baseball. So who else left?
So the Mets are going to the NLCS. They beat the Phillies. The Padres and the Dodgers. It's 2-1 San Diego in the other NLDS, which I'm hoping San Diego pulls it out because fuck LA too. In the American League, you get the Yankees and the Royals, which I think are split at a game apiece, and I think they play Game 3 tonight. So let's go Kansas City. And then it's Detroit.
How are my Cleveland Indians doing?
And then is it Cleveland and Detroit is the other team? I think it's Cleveland and Detroit. Actually, I don't know. I haven't really followed that series very much.
Let's see what the Google machine says. The Google machine says Cleveland won 7-0 and leads the series 1-0.
No, it's they played again today. They played Game 3 and Tigers won, so it's 2-1 Detroit. So they're one game away from being eliminated. So, man, I don't know.
Yeah, this is like all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope, first and foremost, I just hope the Yankees get bounced for sure, because the Yankees don't need another World Series title. So the faster we get that out of the way, the better. Then I want the Dodgers to get bounced out, because I just don't want to hear from the LA fans at all. So, and they got one recently, so I'd rather see San Diego take that one. Kansas City over the Yankees, because Kansas City's, they're a nice little city. They got a lot of Super Bowls recently, but and they had a World Series title. They won the World Series like 2015, not too long ago. I think they got one fairly recently, so they can get another one. Detroit, they've come close over the years, but just haven't really got one. Same with Cleveland. They're going on year 82. What's their longer, or isn't it? They got a drought
longer. I mean, like, I distinctly remember seeing Cleveland they're always going to be the Indians to me. So when I saw the Indians, they played the Marlins in the World Series, and I literally watched Jose Mesa come in the 7th inning and throw that game. I mean, they were going to be World Series champions, and I watched them come in and throw it away. Yeah.
They lost to the Cubs in 2016. Although that was, I can't really hate on the Cubs. I mean, they were both in the same boat with that one, and the Cubs had it even worse. That dickhead grabbed the foul ball, fucked them over years ago. I mean,
I remember that.
Out of those two teams, someone was walking away with a drought ender, and it sucks for Cleveland, but I mean, the Cubs was worse. No offense. But, so in 2004, the Red Sox ended theirs. That was 86 years. And then the next year in 2005, the White Sox ended theirs, and theirs was like 90, 95, something stupid like that. And then in 2016, the Cubs finally ended theirs. That was like 108 years. And I think Cleveland is now the last one with like the super drought. Not counting like the newer teams that just never won one. I mean, like the old teams have been around forever who haven't won one since like before cars were a thing. I think it's Cleveland. I think the last time Cleveland was like 1920, something like that.
Well, that's typical of Cleveland sports. I mean, if you take the Cavaliers out of the equation, I mean, the Browns. The last time the Browns won a championship was before the NFL existed.
Hey Siri, when is the last time the Cleveland Indians won a World Series?
I don't think they have they?
1948.
Damn, so they actually have won one.
Yeah, imagine 1948. That's a long time. I knew it was something crazy. And after that, I think like the Dodgers was like 88, and so in 2020 they and that, which is not super long. It's a little bit of time, but they snapped that one. The Yankees, no. Mets, is Mets 86 when they beat us in 86 when Buckner missed the ball at first base? That might have been the last time the Mets won. It's not. I mean, that's almost 40 years. I mean, that's a good amount of time, I guess. But yeah, I mean,
my question is for World Series is after the Oakland A's move here, which I hate, but anyhow, we're gonna have a pro baseball team. Are they gonna be like the Knights and like go all the way in their first year?
Well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. There's two sides to this whole thing, and I was actually going to touch on this with the other thing that happened today. But first and foremost, let me take a beat for a second before I really dive into this conversation. So, our cigars tonight are brought to you by our friends at twoguyscigars.com. That's right. Head over to twoguyscigars.com for an amazing selection of cigars and cigar accessories from brands you all know and love so well, and maybe a few that you haven't. Buy some stuff you know. Buy some stuff you don't know. Try something new. Always try something new. That's one of the biggest messages of this show. Try something new. Maybe you'll find something that you really love. Don't be afraid to step outside of the norm, guys. We talk about this all the time. But when you do it, go to the number 2guyscigars.com and do it. And let them know you heard it here at the Smokin Tabacco Show. I'm smoking a Velvet Rat from Drew Estate from the Liga Privada Unico series. It's been a while since I had one of these.
Smoked one of those in a long time.
I have a few boxes stashed away, and I happened to discover them today, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have one of these." So, and this has got a couple of years of age on it, so it's smoking very, very nice. What are you burning over there?
I am burning a Espinosa Warhead 10.
Bang! I know,
Bang.
dropping a bomb.
How about that?
And once again, our friends from ST Dupont, who have a message for us. I'm gonna play that for you right now. Whoop, sorry. Still trying to get the hang of this whole thing. ST Dupont, that's right. Those are our cutter and lighter friends. They're always with us, featuring beautiful products such as the new Padron 60th Anniversary Collection, which is now heading to stores. If you're a Padron smoker, like I am, and Kevin is, and like most real seasoned cigar smokers, it's something you definitely don't want to miss out on. And they're very limited. I believe all of those are limited to 88 pieces each. So ask your local retailer for more information, and if they don't carry ST Dupont, tell them to call Leslie Mann of Coles of London, and they should get their fucking life together and open an account. I have with me the beautiful Line 2 from the Gradient Collection, which was released earlier this year. Fantastic products. I even have the Cigar Rest cutter right here. I've had this for several years. I get a lot of compliments on this. This is the sharpest cutter I've ever had, and it's one of the only cutters that's truly stood the test of time. I don't go anywhere without it, and that's why I always travel with my friends at ST Dupont. Shake up the legacy. So back into this little conversation we had. So first of all, let me take a few steps back, and then we're gonna go right back into what you brought up, because I do have something I want to add to that, and because as you know, I am also an honorary, somewhat member of the Las Vegas Society, because I've been there so many fucking times and I love the city so much. So I generally give a shit about stuff that affects the locals too, as you know. And you're a local, so if it happens to you, I care about that. But so let's back up for a second. So earlier today, at about 5:30 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 a.m. Pacific, one of the last great gems of the old Las Vegas left us for good. The Tropicana, which, if you know Vegas, you know the Tropicana. It was there for 67 years, I want to say. It's at one point that was the nicest resort on the Strip. Once upon a time, it was the place to be. You and I have been there plenty of times.
It was a cool place. I mean, it was definitely old school. The
glass ceiling.
The glass ceiling, the mirrored ceiling was just like amazing.
Yeah, what a shame. It really, it's a shame. It's funny. So Nicole was actually kind of excited to see this. So it was live streamed, and which I don't know if you saw the video of the implosion yet.
I did.
Okay, and and Nicole got up this morning. She had her coffee. She was like, "I'm ready to watch." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, not that I was knocking her. I was just surprised. I'm like, "Oh, she was like really into it."
There wasn't a chance we were going down there. My son actually went down and watched it. He actually
on
his Facebook page, he actually has a pretty cool video. They were literally like right across the street, kind of at Mandalay Bay.
So
and watched it from there.
So here's the thing about that, right? So I mean, obviously, anytime this is a Vegas thing. You know, they blow them down, right? They've been doing it for years, and it's cool. And Nicole was really into it, and I have to say, and you live there. I know you've been to a lot of them. I know you've been to some of the big ones too.
I've been to two.
You were at the Dunes one, right?
I was at the
Yeah.
Dunes and I was at the Stardust.
Yeah, those are the two. So I would say those are probably two of the best ones, okay, in terms of the whole thing, right? So when the Dunes South Tower went down, no, it was the Diamond of the Dunes Tower, the original tower. That one was like really one of the first big ones. That's probably the greatest Vegas implosion of all time. I mean, they really did that one, right? I mean, they did it.
Steve Wynn made a movie that they actually had it played 24/7 at Treasure Island when like I came out. I was fortunate enough to come when Treasure Island opened.
Right.
And they played the video 24/7 when Treasure Island opened, but it actually featured
the one with the family,
the Dunes.
And the kid meets Steve Wynn, and he's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Steve Wynn. This is my hotel."
And they actually fired, like, if anybody remembers the pirate ships that used to be in front of Treasure Island, they fired a cannon shot
Siren's
from
Cove.
Treasure Island that imploded the dunes.
Yep.
That was so freaking cool.
Yep. And Steve Wynn, and those who know, who it was before I was born, but I've seen it plenty of times, and I've been educated on it. But anyone who knows, and Kevin, you probably know about this too. In that video, when Steve Wynn's giving his speech about it, and he like calls to the ship captain to fire the cannons, he's fucking trashed. I don't care what anyone says. He was trashed. He was trashed. Just, I'm like, dude, he is trashed.
I don't know. He has so much plastic surgery, you can't tell.
But yeah, no, that was and I was trying to tell Nicole, like, that was like the best one. I mean, they had jet fuel that they blew and they burned. I mean, you were there. I remember you telling me one time, like, dude, you could feel that heat. Like, it was
insane.
bad.
Like, the fireball that thing made was insane.
Oh man, I really wish I could have seen that one. But you know, like the consensus, you know, Nicole was talking about, she's like, that was really cool. They had she kept going on about the drones. Like, there was a lot of fireworks.
The drone show was cool.
That was badass. That was I don't know, the Tropicana Implosion. That's up there now. I think that's in my top 3 with the other two. I mean, that was pretty good. I mean, Stardust was pretty good. They had a lot of fireworks for that one, and then on the face of the building, they had the spark, you know, countdown, the 1090, whatever. That was cool. I think
they used the drones to count down this one.
Yep, which was cool.
Which was cool because it was kind of hovering in between the two towers, and it was. I mean, I almost wish I would have went down there, but 2:30 in the morning. No.
Fuck that on a work night.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down there. But I mean,
with all the tourists,
technology has allowed that to be like one of the most memorable implosions ever in Vegas.
That might be one of the best ones ever recorded because it was all, you know, it's all HD. Like some of the stills of all that, like right before the towers came down when they had the drones, say the Tropicana, and the fireworks were going up. I saw like some nice, like, high quality stills of, like, I was like, wow, that's a great photo. Like, that looks really cool. Really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely up there for one of the best. You know, but then, you know, there's a few that they went down like at 4 a.m. with like no celebration. Like the original Aladdin, that one went down like 6 a.m. There was no spectacle. It just went down. Same with the Desert Inn went down pretty quietly.
El Rancho.
That place was condemned, I think, too.
The place that used to be the WWE hotel, that's over on the convention, like on Convention Center Drive, like where, like up and behind the Riviera, that went down quiet.
Which one?
That was one. It
Not
was,
the Landmark,
the WWE, right? No, it was the WWE hotel, and I can't remember. I gotta look now. The
Riviera did go quietly though. I remember I found out like after, I'm like, wait, the Riviera's gone. I didn't even know they fucking closed. I wasn't even paying attention. There was a few years there where I just, you know, was not really in tune, and I was like, oh, the Riviera, that's gone. And that one went down pretty quietly. There was no fanfare for that. The Frontier, they had a little bit of stuff there. They had some fireworks for the Frontier, I think.
Yep. It was the Debbie Reynolds Hotel and Casino that was on Convention Center Drive, and it sits. I think there's a Marriott or a Renaissance or something or other there now that actually sits right up, like it's across the street from the newest annex for the convention center. But
Oh,
that one
okay.
went down, and the interesting thing there is the elevator tower that was supposed to come down didn't fall. So it's like you had this hotel that imploded, and you had the elevator tower that stayed.
The shaft, the core
stayed,
shaft.
yeah, it stayed standing through the whole thing. So that was the only thing left, and it was like unsafe for like weeks until they could get in there and actually demo that and bring that part down.
And then there was the old showboat, which became Castaways, and then they blew that down.
Yeah,
That was kind of quiet. Hacienda, I think that the Hacienda, which where the Mandalay Bay is now, that one I think had a fireworks show.
it did.
Yep.
One of the interesting ones was the Harmon Tower where City Center is at. They actually, because of where that was at, they had to take that tower down piece
Oh yeah,
by
that's
piece.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that one
Mhm.
they couldn't. That one they took it down, but they couldn't implode it because all the other towers around City Center were there. But that one had to come down because it was built with the wrong grade of steel in the structure of the hotel tower.
Yeah, I remember. So reading, they used. Sorry. They used a significant amount more of explosives. So one of the Tropicana, so the older Tropicana Tower, the one built in the 70s, I want to say they used like 500 or 600 pounds of dynamite and explosives, and then the other one it was like 1,200 pounds, and it was because the older one was mostly steel skeleton, and the other one was all concrete. So they needed like 3 times the explosives to tear that one down. But they both went down. They went right in just like they're supposed to, which, if you don't know anything about, demolition, and the way these implosions work, it is very meticulously planned. I mean, they don't just like stick stuff in there and just blow it. I mean, it is very intricately placed. It's engineered and it's timed. And it's all done like very articulately. And if you like because if it don't blow right, it either it'll fall, it'll blow out, which God forbid, you don't want that because you got people in buildings nearby. It has to be just right to just cave in on itself, and that is not easy to do. So as cool as it is to watch, there's always a guy who's like the guy who's in charge, who's just like, it better go right because I'm fucked if it doesn't.
Landmark is a perfect example of that, where that when that
Yeah,
hotel came
because
down,
it's
it
split.
in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the design of that thing was, I mean, it didn't lend to a good demo anyhow. So
Well, yeah. To your point, I mean that was oddly shaped. I don't think there was a good way to blow that one down. I mean, it was top heavy. It was round and it was top heavy. It looked like a golf tee. If you don't know what the landmark was, it looked like a golf tee. It was skinny and then it came out like this, and then
if
when
you
they
saw
blew
the
it,
movie Mars Attacks,
oh yeah,
explosion of that's in Mars Attacks.
yeah, when the aliens come, yeah,
Yep.
that's true. So yeah, no, it's a thing, and if you live in Las Vegas or if you're someone who keeps tabs on it, it's one of those things that it's people do. They're not as common anymore because most of those old places are gone, and the newer resorts are so big and modern that when they close, they just remodel them, like the Mirage, and there's a few others.
It's weird looking at the Mirage right now, where the volcano was. It's just barren.
Gone.
It's like everything's gone. It's crazy.
It's crazy to watch that city change. It's crazy to see like what it is now. Not only how big it is, but like, I mean, you're a lot older than me, and you've lived there for a long time. But you remember when probably most, if not all, of the originals were there, and
Well, the first time
what
I
the
came to
town was like.
92.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's changed dramatically since '92.
it's nothing like it used to
crazy.
be. Yeah,
I mean, if you want to see something cool, I mean, if you actually go into Google Maps, they actually have I think it's Google Maps. They actually have the time lapse where you can actually look at the strip and look at it back in into the '80s.
Oh, no
today.
shit.
And it's really cool to see like how the city, like you can actually look at the satellite view and just it plays like a video, and it actually where it expands and you can actually see how the city changes, and you can see the properties on the strip where there wasn't something and then there is, and it's actually really cool. I
That
think
is
it's Google Maps. I can't remember if it's Maps or Google Earth, but they actually have a time lapse thing. You have to look at it on a computer. It doesn't work on the phone.
I'm trying to pull this up on my laptop. See if I can.
Yeah, I can't remember where the date thing is, but they have it's show historical data or something like that.
Share my screen? I can. Does it not let me play the video though? Oh, that is so dumb. Oh wait, no, maybe it's just reloading.
I was gonna say it should.
I think it's reloading.
Looks like it is.
Hold on.
Buffer.
It's probably because it's trying to stream it. Yeah, see, because it gives me.
Live in New Hampshire and thinking about buying solar panels? Don't. It could quite literally be the worst financial decision you could ever make. And here's why. There's a new bill that just got signed a few weeks ago called the Green.
Skip.
Which I don't know why, because like I try to fast forward this because this is kind of long.
Yeah, they actually had the event on YouTube.
Yeah, dude, this thing was pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, like this is one of the better ones that like I've seen. Turn off the sound on this too, just because it's ungodly and we don't need the sound. But yeah, I mean, this is like one of the cooler ones I've seen, and you've probably seen too. This was quite the spectacle for an implosion. I'm not gonna lie, I was just I'm very impressed.
What really impressed me with this one is like the proximity. I mean, if anybody's been to Vegas, the proximity to the airport where this hotel is, the fact that they're able to pull all this off in that proximity to the airport was like freaking amazing.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, because it's right near the airport. I mean, so I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but like it's right to the right. I mean, not too far away.
Like at the bottom of the screen, there's a side street that actually goes up to where like the Janets and like the military, the thing is that flies up to Area 51. I mean, it's literally like right there.
Yeah. So I mean, the dust. A lot of people are like, why do they always do them like the middle of the night? The airport. That's why. Well, that's probably not the only reason why, but it's a major reason why, because of all that dust.
So looking at this video, I'm gonna guess this came from the foundation room at Mandalay Bay.
That's what I'm thinking too.
That's right, the angle, because if you actually look at the foreground, I mean that's the festival grounds. Kind of like you can't really see it in the picture, but that's the festival grounds that was
the
part
shooting,
of the 1 October thing that happened here.
Yep. And it's just amazing when they actually finally send it, just how fast they go down to, which I think should be like right around here.
And the dust cloud it wasn't even like
there it goes. You can see the
really
smoke coming out of the top of the building. That's the initial charges going off, and the primary supports are blowing out, and then they blow the bottom out, and the whole thing caves in. There it goes, boom, one, and then the other one goes right behind it. And it's amazing to watch.
I mean, they came straight down too.
Yep.
I mean, the first time that went down, it was a little bit off, but the second one was literally perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, just like that, gone.
We're dealing like with the sign company. We're dealing with some of the aftermath of dust issues and like vibration issues. At some of the casinos that caused a little bit of damage in some of the signage at some of the other properties when that happened. But
did it? Wow. And you didn't see any dust today when you were driving around? I mean, I know you're
like by the time I got to work, I mean, I get to work at 7, and by the time I got to work, I mean, there was a little bit. I mean, like kind of almost like like a haze layer, I guess, around the area. But I mean, it was gone. The roads, they had all the roads and everything around it closed up until 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, and then by comparison, this took place in 93. This was the Dunes implosion, which you were actually at this one, so you probably remember this.
The fireworks display was a lot better, but they didn't have drones back then. The drone show at the one, like from this morning, the drone show, I think, far surpasses any of the fireworks displays.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why I think that Tropicana one might be the best one now because of that reason. There was just so much more to it.
This one is so cool, though. I mean, the fireball that tower made was insane.
And they blew the sign down.
Yeah.
I think this is where they go for it. Yeah. This is all the fire. They use jet fuel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And they did it, man. They were like, we're doing that. And I think this was like the first major implosion that ever took place down there. And like, I think they went a little overboard, but it was badass. I mean, look at the whole building like caught on fire. Like that doesn't normally happen. That's not usually how it goes. But and then boom, there it goes down. Just goodbye. Damn.
And for anybody wondering, that's actually where the Bellagio is today.
That's actually, if I got this right, Kevin, the tower that you're seeing now, that's actually where the lake is. The Bellagio actually sits on where the golf course behind it was.
Right. You're
yeah.
right.
That's actually where. So when you go to the Vegas, you see the fountains. That's where the fountains are. But anyway, sorry, I inhaled some smoke. But anyway, yeah. So
cool.
that was all that. This is you know.
So this is the Smokin Tabacco Las Vegas Implosion show tonight.
I guess so. I was all excited about it.
You know what? It's funny how we get sidetracked on crazy like random shit when we don't have a guest, right? But hey, it makes it something different. You know, so
that's
it's
what we
not
do.
Not the same old show every week. So
No. And I mean, I apologize for the audio listeners who didn't see it, but like, you go on YouTube, they're all on there. And most of them were all done by Controlled Demolition Inc. So they, record most of them, so you can find them all. They're all on there. I've seen them all hundreds of times. And it's pretty cool. I mean, there's stadiums and this other building. I mean, Vegas is not the only place that happens. A lot of the old baseball and football stadiums over the years in a lot of cities, that's how they were taken down. Shea Stadium and Yankee Stadium were, demolished manually, I guess is the term. But I believe Veterans Stadium was imploded in Philadelphia, where the Reds played. I forget what that one was called. It was the Synergy Field. That one was imploded. The Kingdome in Seattle was imploded. The one in Atlanta was imploded. So there's a lot of stadiums too that have come down, and those are fun too because like they were all the old like the concrete donut stadiums that were popular in the '60s. So when they do it, it goes down like boom 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 in a circle, and it's kind of it doesn't just come like down. It's like in like a circle. It's kind of cool.
it's like watching a domino, like a string of dominoes come down.
Yeah, but again, like to do it that way, I mean that takes a lot of precise placement and planning to get it to blow just boom, 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 boom. So I mean, I find it fascinating. I'm sorry, the whole thing, and I'm in construction too, so I mean that stuff already, is very entertaining to me. So but yeah, I thought that was noteworthy. But getting back to, since you kind of started this conversation, getting back to the purpose of this. So the purpose of this is because, yes, for those who don't really follow sports, Oakland has lost its last professional team. The Oakland Athletics played their last game at the Coliseum at the end of the regular season. And they will be playing the next couple of years in Sacramento at a minor league stadium, I believe. And then they will be moving to Las Vegas. So the Tropicana site will become a Major League Baseball stadium in Las Vegas, making that the third professional team that Vegas will get. So the Knights are an expansion team. I play at T-Mobile Arena. The Raiders left Oakland and now play in Las Vegas. And now the A's are building a ballpark on the Strip, and they will be playing there. So the only thing you guys are missing is an NBA team, but I believe that's already being explored by the NBA. So
yeah, it's coming. It's not going to be long.
Now I've also heard rumors, and again, I keep hearing the same rumor over and over again. But at the same time, I've talked to you. I keep hearing that the Rio is being completely sought after, like to be blown down to put an NBA arena. Which, one, why wouldn't you use T-Mobile unless they just don't want them there? And then two, if I remember correctly, the Rio just had a major renovation. So
Yeah, the Rio, like they're not gonna demo the Rio. I mean, they literally just spent like millions, like tens of millions of dollars to renovate that place.
yeah,
They're still going through it. You know, they're now working on the interior of it. They're redoing the casino floor.
it needed a
They're redoing the
facelift.
restaurants and the shops and all that stuff. I mean, back in the day, it had the Carnival World Seafood Buffet, which was like the first of its kind in Vegas. That actually it was a buffet that was all seafood.
Yeah.
So now they're actually having, I can't remember what they named it now, but they're going to have a buffet that combines a regular buffet and the seafood buffet. So they're reworking that. They're reworking all the shops and restaurants and everything inside. They've renovated the rooms. They repainted the tower. They redid. They took all the neon off the outside of the tower and did LEDs on the outside of the tower. My company didn't get that job, and it shows. But
Look at you patting yourself on the back.
here, let me reach around here.
Yasco didn't do it, so it looks like shit. But no, I was there with Nicole recently, so it was before we had the baby. Was it 21? It was 21. I think it was before we got married.
Yeah, it was a bad shape. Like, since you guys have been coming out here, it's been in bad shape.
Yeah, I was there in 2018, and it was, And we went in 21. We went to the Voodoo Steakhouse up at the top floor, and which was great actually. I really liked it. But we went to the casino. That was a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
It was worse than like some of the
it's
places out in Prim.
It's not the greatest location. I mean, it's off the strip. It's on Flamingos. I mean, it's kind of close to the Palms.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for a while, the Palms was like the trendy place to be, and it's kind of the celebrities went there, and they built the other tower. Phil Maloof, which, I mean, he was one of the partners of the Golden Knights. He had a penthouse on the top floor of the condo tower at the Palms. So I mean, it was.
I stayed there once.
It was a trendy area, and I remember for IPCPR in was it 21? Or was it 19? It might have been 19.
I think it was 19.
Yeah, that Alec Bradley had a party and Maloof suite. So that was actually kind of cool to be up in the top floor of that and see. I think he sold that place for like $14 million.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool resort. It's just it's out of the way, and I don't think it's as popular as it was. I mean, there was a time 15 years ago, like that was the place to be. Especially for celebrities, like you said, then it just kind of went away. It kind of got quiet, but it's a nice place. I stayed there once. It was nice. It was nice. The rooms were nice. It was some years back, but yeah,
It's
I mean,
a nice
it was
casino.
Yeah.
It's actually it's Indian gaming now.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, I remember they sold it recently. I think it was after the pandemic. But yeah, that's there's not many of them left. I was thinking about who's next on the list that I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon, despite what some people might think. But the only other old ones left are Flamingo, which seems to be doing okay, and Circus, which you and I have talked about. Which, I mean, I don't know how you put this nice.
Circus is kind of a unique situation. I mean, like they're one of my customers, so I gotta be. We'll watch my words, but I mean, it's an older property, right? So it's definitely a budget property. But one of the huge things they have there is the festival grounds, which is on the north end of the property, and it is along Sahara, and it's basically between Sahara and the property. They have some big concerts there, and that real estate is like primo. So
yeah,
there's been rumors abounding, like for the past couple of years, that somebody's buying Circus. It's going to go this, it's going to go that. I mean, Jim Ruffin, that used to own the Frontier, actually owns Circus now. He also owns Treasure Island.
Yep.
So I mean, there's been plans to do this and plans to do that with it. One of the interesting things is Lucky the Clown, their main marquee, is actually in the National Registry of Historical Landmarks. So
that ain't going anywhere.
There's a lot surrounding, for them to shut that property and tear that sign down. There's a lot of red tape that would have to go through to make that happen. So
yeah, I mean, across the street, Riviera's gone.
You have Fontainebleau right across the street now, and then you have like Slots to Fun, like the teeny little thing that used to have like the little neon palm trees in front of it and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if anybody saw National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, but it was in that. So you have Circus and Slots of Fun, which are really probably the oldest two remaining properties on the Strip right now. And then you have Resorts World right next to that. So, and then you have
Stardust.
Fontainebleau across the street.
The El Rancho.
So it's surrounded by new properties.
Does Lots of Fun still do the cheap shrimp cocktail?
I don't know.
I think they do. I remember for a while they were doing the shrimp cocktail special. You could get like a giant thing of like 10 like colossal like shrimp cocktails for like $5.99. I was like, damn, that's a good deal.
They still have like a $3 footlong hot dog.
Yeah. They got like some interesting items over there, and it's like, not bad.
they do still have slots that pay with tokens. So if you like to hear the slot machine that goes tink 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 when you win, they still have that there. So that's kind of cool.
I know they don't even have. No one even has like let alone like the coins, the tokens. No one even has like. I mean they're existing, but they're going away. Even just the regular like. The real machines, the reels. I mean, it's all digital screens now, and it's like I get it, but it's like there's like no old feel in that town whatsoever. It sucks. It sucks, man.
I mean, I guess, if you look at old properties, I mean, Slots of Fun and Circus. I mean, like I said, those are the oldest two. Mirage is being rebranded to the Hard Rock. That's really one of the first like new like mega resorts that's has come to an end, and now it's going on to the next level. So
right,
and that date back, I think that opened in 88 if I'm not
89.
mistaken. Was 89. Okay, it's when Mirage opened. So
yep. Yeah, it's crazy. But what I was also going to add to that, not to like really get off course, but back to the A's for a second. I'm excited to see you guys get a Major League Baseball team. Wish you got an expansion team, something new, like with the Knights.
I wish that too. I wish
it was a new team.
NFL. I think the same thing. The NFL team too. I fucking hate the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. They just never have their shit together. I don't know. And then the A's, the ownership group. It'd be nice if after he moved them there, like he realized like, oh shit, I fucked up, and he sold the team, and like they stayed there, but like he sold it to someone else who like actually like has the money to like put a team on the field, and then they were great. That would be cool. But it's still gonna be the A's. I don't know, I was hoping that when they moved, they would change the name. Not that the the Athletics is a storied name, but I don't know. I was hoping that you guys would get a fresh team. I was really like, they should get a fresh team and start a new story. Just like the Golden Knights. They got a Stanley Cup. Like, you guys got a nice little thing going on with your hockey team. You got a great thing going with your hockey team. And then you got these, like, two, like, hand-me-down teams that are like, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at one of the comments from, is it Mike Toss? Or Toss,
yeah.
However you say his name. Big shrimp and botulism.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
That might be comment of the night right there.
Raiders are all show no go. Yeah, Look, Raiders had some of our good people that like when they were here in New England. They had Josh McDaniels. They had Jimmy G. When they were here, they were fucking great. They went to the Raiders, and it was just a disaster. And I'm like, I really think it's just the Raiders. I don't know. They I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. But I don't know. It sounds like you guys are going to get an expansion NBA team. So, I mean, I know you're not big on basketball, but at least you'll have like hopefully a brand new basketball team, which I guess is good. But yeah, your baseball and your football team, not so much.
It's going to be interesting to see how F1 does this year.
Oh yeah, and you get F1 coming back to town. Yeah,
I will say it hasn't been as disruptive in town as it has been in the past. Yeah, as it was last year. The drama that it's caused. I mean, I can't speak for the small businesses and whatnot that in and around where the track is, but just as a whole, it hasn't. It hasn't caused as much disruption as it did last year.
Well, I think they learned a lot of lessons last year, which is what you'd hope for.
And the race, the race. I mean, as F1 race is good, the race is actually pretty freaking good, which surprised me because, as a race fan, if you look at the layout of the track, just the layout of the track says the race is going to suck, but it didn't. It was actually an entertaining race to watch on TV. So
Mike asked, "Are the residents more settled with it this time around?"
Kinda, I guess. I mean, you don't have the major impact. I mean, I know two of the properties, Paris and Planet Hollywood, were majorly impacted by the bridge, like the temporary bridge that they made. This year, I'm going to say it's not as impacted. I mean, there was employees there that typically had a 15-minute drive to work. That because of the bridge and because of the construction and everything else going on, it would take them like an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes to get home when it would typically take them 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you haven't heard those complaints so much this year. I know there's a couple, smaller businesses and smaller casinos and bars and whatnot that are like right behind those properties. There hasn't been much said this year about how they're impacted. So I don't know if the local media is censoring that on purpose, or if there's just not as much of an issue this year as there has been in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I think last year is the first time around, so there was a lot for everyone to learn from it, and I think there was a lot for F1 to learn from it and changes that they had to make, and then so I think obviously you would assume and hope that the second time around everyone kind of was like, all right, I remember last year, like, this is what we need to change. So yeah, you'd hope that it goes better this year because otherwise it's just gonna suck for everyone again. But we'll see. I mean, it's a cool race, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully it doesn't disrupt your life. I remember talking to you on the phone last year, a couple of those weeks, and you were not a happy camper sometimes in the car.
Well, no. Because for me is I work for a sign company, so my life is down on the strip, and literally, like the nonsense from that added literally hours to my day, just navigating traffic to get around.
Yeah.
I mean, it was complete and total bullshit. This year, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be in Miami on race weekend.
Yeah, so you won't even be there. That's nice.
So we won't even be here. We'll be gone. So
that's the way to do it. But anyway, so yeah, that's all things Vegas right now with Kevin, local resident. We covered a lot of topics on that tonight, which is interesting. And then the hurricane, obviously, which I don't know if there's any updates on that. I was gonna actually check.
The last thing I looked at, it made landfall a little bit ago. It looks like it looks like it made landfall just a little bit south of Sarasota.
Now I see that they're calling it a Category 3 now, so it looks like it's downgraded.
It made landfall as a 3.
Well, that's good. I mean, I guess. I mean, not that
it is. I mean, the thing that I read and that I understood is that the storm surge doesn't really have anything to do with the category of the hurricane because it's just the strength of it and what it was pushing prior. The storm surge is going to be one of the most substantial storm surges that they've had, like, ever down there. So,
yeah.
I mean, I saw an article earlier where the mayor of Tampa, was urging residents that didn't evacuate to literally take permanent marker and write their names on their bodies. So when rescue workers found them, they'd know who they were if they didn't evacuate. So they were expecting it to be that bad.
Well, if you're doing that, then yeah, that's. I mean, if they tell you to leave, you should leave. But at the same time, I know there's people who really they can't or whatever, and I get it, and I know some people who are down there who probably won't leave, and I get it. I do. I get it, and it sucks. I just again, if you chose to stay, I really hope you're safe, and I really hope you're okay, because man, that's scary, man. I can't even imagine, just riding a storm like that out. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, God bless. I mean, we have a lot of friends and industry friends and personal friends that are in that area down there. So
Yeah.
God bless, and I hope you guys are all okay. And I know that probably nobody has phone service or anything down there, but we'll be checking on you guys, starting tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to hear that you made it through and.
JC Newman's there.
Start to rebuild.
Arturo Fuente is there. There's a Corona cigar there.
Or our good friend like Miguel Chodel, he lives in between Fort Myers and Sarasota. So.
Yep, he's down there. Davidoff's offices are in St. Pete, which is right across the bay. So all those people are down there too.
Does Jack Heyer relocated up there too as well, right?
Yeah, I actually spoke to Jack today. He had told me he's not in town because of that. So he got out of town. So he's not there. I don't know who else stayed put, but I think Angela Yu stayed put. I saw her. She was posting videos from the cathedral. But I wonder if she's taking refuge in there. I mean, she's in a brick building. I saw she had all the windows boarded up pretty well. So, I mean, if there's a place to hide it out, I mean, in that place, she's probably going to be okay. I mean, that's all brick. So,
I mean, I'm looking at a graphic right now, and I mean, it looks like the surge, it's the eye itself hit just a little bit south of Sarasota, but like the nastiness was further north, which like literally like right over Tampa.
Yeah.
So.
And it's there right now. Like they're in the peak right now.
I think it's actually already passed, and it's working its way across the state now.
Damn, already?
That was a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, we're doing this, so I haven't really been on to see anybody who's updated, who's there.
There's been a couple, like I know, like Abe DeBobna, our good buddy Abe DeBobna with Smokin. He was sharing some tornado videos of like Weston, Florida and whatnot, kind of somewhat near West Palm. And
oh yeah, it's true.
Big tornado on the ground in Weston, so I mean that's another thing. The people like right on the coast have to deal with the hurricane and the storm surge and the high winds and stuff. But I mean, tornado is I don't know if it's as totally destructive as a hurricane, but I mean those things are destructive in their own right. So, I pray for everybody that can, from probably just a little bit north of Miami, like all the way up to, Jacksonville. And everywhere in between east and west. I pray for you guys, and hope everybody makes it through okay.
Yeah, me too. One of my longtime best friends lives in Central Florida in a town called Sebring, and today's his birthday actually. So happy birthday! But I spoke to him today, and I said, well, happy birthday, first of all. And I said, second of all, I'm checking in on you, hurricane. So he I think he didn't leave or anything like that. I think what did he say? I spoke to him briefly today, but he was he said, yeah, he goes, we will get 70 to 100 mile an hour winds. No evacuation here. That's the coast. They're going to get 140, 15-foot surge to the.
That's the reason for the evacuation. I mean, the winds is one thing, but it's like when you have literally 15 foot of storm surge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts. I mean, you think about that. That's literally like almost to the second floor of a 2-story building.
Yeah, so I mean, I saw a video. I saw a video of some manufacturers, that have warehouses down there. They had all the cigars on the shelves. They wrapped it all up in tarps, in the warehouse. And I thought about that too. I'm like, because I thought about like, well, like the Newmans and the Fuentes are right in Tampa, and like that's where the primary distribution, the warehouse and all that. So I'm like, oh, it's like they got all that inventory for the U.S. down there. Like, what happens if that, like, do they get all that out of there? Or that's just too much to move, probably. I'm like, do they, what do you do?
I would think it's too much to move. I mean, I was actually really, like, I read an article earlier today. The Bradenton Police Department moved 41,000 pieces of evidence out of the police station to a secure location further inland. I mean, just think of the logistics with moving something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
Oh, yeah. And no matter how well you do it, a couple of things are going to get fucked up too, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's just to deal with that for those people. Like, oh man, I mean, it's, again, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. We hope you make it through and everyone's okay. And
we will be checking on you.
Thinking about the people in Asheville, in North Carolina. I know Ben Lee on the Cigar Coop team. That's where he lives. And I remember talking to Coop. Was it Monday or was it last week? I think it was. I was on the phone with Coop last week, I think it was, and I remember saying, like, yeah, we haven't heard from Ben since like Thursday, which was like 4 or 5 days. I think it was like maybe it was last Monday or something. And it was like, he's like, yeah, we haven't heard from Ben Lee in like 4 days because like he's down there right now and they got like no cell service and like they can't get out. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like that sucks.
I mean, Helene hit parts of the Carolinas too that typically wouldn't get hit by by hurricane devastation. I mean, there's areas of North and South Carolina that got wiped out that you wouldn't expect to get wiped out. So it's just nuts.
Well, in other words, let's in other news, let's cover some cigar news really quickly before we wrap up this show. And our cigar news is once again. Oh, I lost you, Kevin. What happened? Our cigar news is once again brought to you by Micallef Cigars, featuring the new Micallef Red that will join the blue and the black in the Micallef Color Series, with, I'm sure, more to come. But Kevin, what do we have for news this week?
So our news this week actually comes from our friends at JC Newman, who we're praying for you guys that everything makes it through okay.
Absolutely.
But JC Newman released a new size of the Julius Caesar called the Troublemaker.
Oh yeah, I saw this one.
Yeah, this one actually excites me because I'm a big fan of the Julius Caesar cigar. That's a very
classic
tasty cigar.
Diamond Crown.
Classic Diamond Crown. So this one, it's a 5.75 by 52 soft perfecto. And it actually comes packaged in leather boxes of 20 cigars with a suggested retail price of $17 per cigar.
It almost kind of looks like the 1118.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks very similar. I mean, they are handcrafted by the Fuente family in the Dominican Republic.
Yep.
So, and they actually looks like they shipped, the first boxes of those shipped on October 7th.
Nice.
So they are actually going to 36 Diamond Crown lounges across the United States. So if you're near a Diamond Crown lounge, go seek them out. If you don't have a Diamond Crown lounge near you, get with your B&Ms and see if they can do what they need to do to become, a Diamond Crown lounge, because JC Newman cigars are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I saw this, and the Julius Caesar is a favorite of mine. It's been for close to 10 years since I started smoking cigars. I mean, it's a great blend. It's a great cigar. The entire Diamond Crown line. I mean, the Maximus. I mean, it's a great line from top to bottom. But the Julius Caesar, I think, is probably my favorite. So this is a cool
and it's
size.
it's a classic cigar, and it's one of those cigars you can pick up and it's always going to be good.
Yep.
I mean, it's the consistency across the line. Doesn't matter what size you smoke, they're going to be good. The one thing that I would like to know is, like, looking at this and looking at the press release, and one of the quotes in the press release says, "Because this cigar was such a pain to create, the factory has another name for it." It says, as that name is not appropriate to print, it is officially called the Troublemaker. So I would love to know what they actually called it.
Who said that? Was that Drew?
Let's see who did say that. doesn't say. It says.
Yeah, it was true. It
It
was
was
true.
true.
It was true.
Yeah, so I would love to know, just as a side note, what they actually said, because that's whatever it was called is what it's always going to be known by me.
I'll find out. I'll find out. There's a few people I could ask. I'll find out. 'Cause, yeah, I'm now I want to know too. That's funny.
Yeah, like right now is probably not the time to ask.
No, I'll wait. I'll wait.
but
They
we'll-
have enough to
yeah,
deal with.
but
But I'll be
we'll-
like, hey, by the way,
we'll definitely find out.
yeah, we'll find out for you. But yeah, that's our news
fun-
this week.
That's funny.
And to ask your local Diamond Crown Lounge, if you live near a Diamond Crown Lounge, ask them for more information on when that will be available. I highly recommend you check it out. It's an amazing blend. But yeah, looking at the time, getting towards the end of the show here, Kevin. I think we kind of covered some interesting stuff tonight. This was nice, just hanging out, talking about current events.
It almost felt like a spare note show.
It did, which was nice. Look, the spare note show is special in its own way, and sometimes we bring that over here, but no Coop.
Again,
That's the only thing that's missing is Coop. But
and again, I apologize to our audience for making this a half hour late, but
hey, it's all good. Shit
Hey.
happens.
now I know that at least even if we continue to have issues with Safari or with Chrome, that Safari works. So
There you go.
good.
It's all about learning from the experience, Kevin. And look, you had no issues. We made it through the whole show.
And does that mean you can teach an old dog new tricks?
Yeah, you can. I don't know why people say you can't. I mean, maybe some people. I think you can't. A dog that doesn't want to learn, you can't teach it. But that rule follows anyway. There's people that are young that don't want to learn. You can't teach them. They either figure it out on their own or they just don't at all. But Kevin's a guy who likes to learn. He gets frustrated easily, as do I. So
Yes,
I
I
can't
do.
really throw stones. But the point is he still wants to learn. So he did today, and you got to give him credit for that. He's a little technologically challenged. No offense, but he got through it and he figured it out on his own. I can't come over there and help him. So
Hey, if I can't turn it on and use it, then I don't know how to fix it. So
yeah, so if you can't figure that out, then you shouldn't be doing podcasting. But you did, so that's why you're here. You know what I mean? You figured it out. You're getting good. You've come a long way. I gotta say, you've come a long way since you started doing this. I mean, you really have. So you're becoming seasoned at this stuff.
Well, what's funny is like the new Mac update, it actually pops a window up. So I was actually able to look at Safari and see what it was using for a microphone.
Yeah.
And that was crazy that it kept defaulting to my eCam, which is, obviously what I use for my camera, right? So it kept defaulting to the eCam for the microphone. So I don't understand why. I'll dig into that and try and figure it out by next week. But
You have some homework to do.
that was interesting.
Barbara.
Yeah, I can be awfully stubborn, but we'll say that Barbara and Barbara's entire family agrees that she is way more stubborn than I could ever be.
Well, to be fair, in the years that I've known you guys, I don't think I've ever seen Barbara lose her shit. But I've seen
she
you
has
lose
way-
your shit.
Well, okay, she's more stubborn than me by a ton, but like
she
my
deals with it
patience
differently.
is like you need a microscope, like an electron microscope to like measure my patience.
Whatever.
See
Also,
what
Barbara,
I
so you got to
mean?
fix it before Saturday, before the next Spare Notes show. That's what you got to do. So you actually have less
Yeah,
time
yeah,
than you
yeah.
think. But she's like, whatever.
Exactly.
Barbara, I stuck up for you, okay? So don't be mad at me. I put the more of it on Kevin. So, but
Hey, I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for Barb. So
that's also a very true
love
statement.
love you, dude.
That's also a very, very true statement. I remember the first time that you guys are always together. I remember the first time you guys like spent a night apart. Like you were like having a panic attack. You were like, oh my God, like I'm not with Barbara. And I was like, it's gonna be okay. And like you almost like you were like lost. You didn't know what to do.
Well,
Because
it's just weird when you have somebody that's literally that big of a part of your life, and
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like
No.
Barbara really does like steer that ship for you. So
big
you know,
time.
yeah, you would be lost without Barbara. So consider yourself lucky, So
Oh, 100%.
yeah, Yeah. But anyway, I think that's gonna be our show this week. So thank you everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us and playing along. It's always fun to be out here and hanging out and chat. And you know, it was an interesting show. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let it sit. Let it marinate. And I have to go to the bathroom really bad. I just have to pee. Don't get any ideas. It's not gross. I just really have to pee. I drink a lot of water, and it's time. So I'm gonna sign off there, guys. Thank you for being here with us. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to go to smokingtabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry. To all of our friends affected by the hurricanes, we're thinking about you. We're praying for you, and we will check on you as time goes on. But keep us updated as well if you can. Let us know you're okay. And good luck with everything that's going on. And with that, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.